All right, we're here doing an artist spotlight with Frank Russell, great bass player, composer, and welcome, Frank.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about how you got started
About 6 years old, I saw the Beatles like everybody else, and I said,
That
"Wow,
was it, huh?
that was it." I said, "Dad, you got to give me a guitar." I was 6 or 7, and he got it for me. And I started taking lessons at.
You get attracted to bass? How did that transition happen?
I had a girlfriend in high school. She was they needed a bass player for a band. I guess the bass player quit. She knew I played guitar, and she asked me, "Don't you play bass?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I never played bass before. I figured it would be easier. You know, it's got less strings.
She was cute. You would have played anything.
She was gorgeous, but my wife's even better looking. But
there you go.
So yeah, so my father got me a bass. Every time I needed a new instrument, he got it for me.
Wow.
Thanks, Dad.
Sweet.
And I began playing bass at the age of 14.
So you've had quite an illustrious career.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about some of the highlights?
Wow. I've been pretty blessed. I used to go, my father would take me to go see Ramsey Lewis when I was 15 years old, and I met L.D. Young. My father would paint on a mustache for me to get in clubs.
For real? Man, you were one lucky dude.
I met Ramsey, and I met L.D., and I told L.D. was Ramsey's bass player from the 60s on all those famous Hang On Sloopy.
Absolutely.
And I told L.D. one day I would like to become a professional bass player, and he encouraged me. And then years later, I started playing with Ramsey. I actually recorded with Ramsey. L.D. was a great friend, and from Ramsey, I met Henry Johnson, who's a great friend of mine, who also played with Ramsey and Freddie Hubbard. Then when I started, I actually worked with Ladysmith Black Mambazo. I did a play at the Steppenwolf Theater.
So you toured with Ladysmith for 6 years.
6 years. We did the Steppenwolf Theater. We broke attendance records there. We went on to Kennedy Center for about 3 months. We bought
any highlights about just what it was like playing with that beautiful? That's like the most beautiful music ever created on the planet.
And those guys are just as beautiful as they seem.
Yeah, I bet.
Joseph Shabalala, the leader of it. I told him we were doing a cast album, and I said, "Joseph, I'm so honored to be playing with you guys." I was the only American musician that did the play. There was like 20 actors and musicians. And I told him how honored I was to do the play. And he looked at me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Frank, you have come home." So Joseph's I would sit in the room with those guys, room no bigger than this sometimes, and those voices would just envelop the room, and the bass voices, and then the sopranos, and I would be in heaven.
Well, that's interesting because when I listen to your music, some of the music that you're doing now, where you're playing, generating all the different bass parts, I hear the bass, the real low bass parts, and I also hear the complex inner workings of almost the interior, like a guitar or a piano might play, and then the melody up high, like the sopranos. And it's interesting the way you just talked about Ladysmith Black Mambazo. I wonder if that has an influence on your compositional style, given what I just heard, with your writing.
I never thought of that. But it may be linked. It also may be linked with me playing, listening to Stevie Wonder growing up.
Yeah.
And how he layered all those Moog bass lines with his, and it's interesting because I kind of write like that.
You've got a project going on. You've got a weekend at Andy's coming up this Friday and Saturday. April 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Andy's is like one of the top jazz clubs in Chicago. Andy's Jazz Showcase, and I worked there with my band. I got a friend, my great friend for 16 years, Nicholas Barron, singing.
Yeah.
I met Nicholas 16 years ago. Talent beyond talent. This guy, he starts singing, and you're like, where's his voice coming from? And I love to see the look on people's faces when Nicholas starts singing.
Yeah.
It sounds like a black guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
He looks like Vince Vaughn, and then
it's a crazy combination.
Al Green comes out.
Yeah.
So
it's Nicholas Barron.
It's Nicholas Barron. And just Nicholas is the reason I'm working with you guys, because I heard so many horror stories about wedding jobbing bands, and I said, if Nicholas is going to be part of a jobbing band, it must be cool. It must be a cool guy. I've heard so many horror stories about leaders, and since I've been with your organization, it's been just the smoothest sailing I ever could have imagined. And you guys are so fair and got a beautiful organization. And if Nicholas is part of it, there must be something good to it.
Thanks.
And I found out for myself of it.
Well, so this Friday and Saturday, you got to come out to hear Frank and his band. I mean, it is an awesome band. So we're talking about this Friday, Saturday, April 9th and 10th, the 9:30 show, and you play till what? 12:30? 1:30. 9:30 to 1:30.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. So you guys come out if you can.
All right. Thanks, Frank.
All right. Thanks, Jim.